Hey everyone, and welcome to episode number 50 of the Unknown Games podcast. We're here, I'm here, the world's here. It's a beautiful day or night here in Japan on, I was going to say 9/14, September 14th. That's when we're recording this. And hey, I'm your host Adrian, and joined with the one and the only Alex.
Hey, what's up? I'm the Game Duck.
Game Duck Alex is always here. Yo, last week was a pretty good episode. Quack, quack, quack. We had a lot of quacks in that episode. I don't know if you listened to it. I was editing it and I was like, did I quack that many times? I quacked a lot.
Yeah, I guess so.
We were it was a good episode. If you haven't listened to it, it's definitely, I think one of our best episodes, especially the last little part where we're talking about minorities in anime and manga. And it was just a really good episode. I think we just had our fun. We had all of it. And now this week we're like, what do we talk about? And yes, there's the Xbox Series S. And yes, there's the PlayStation 5 event that's coming up in like 2 more days on the 16th. Yeah, those things are happening. But do we really want to talk about what everyone else is talking about? Do we really want to talk about those things? Alex?
Maybe. I don't know.
I guess we can go and talk about the Xbox Series X. I mean, if we can give the GPUs the most talk in the world, we might as well give the smallest box in the world. I mean, it's not really that small, but we can give it some
size
love.
It's like size of like one Bible or something. It's like a fat ass book or something, like an encyclopedia maybe.
It looks. What was it? It was. I saw them. Aaron Greenberg.
Or it's like 2 Wii's or something
It's
stuck
2
together.
Wii's. It's about 2 Wii's. It's a little bit longer, but yeah. I mean, it's essentially a little bit thicker, like taller than a PS4, like current PS4.
Okay, so it's like 6 DVDs in terms of thickness.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
I mean,
it's not bad. No, it's not bad.
Pretty good.
It's and actually in terms of like if you were to stand it up height wise, it's shorter than the PlayStation 4 now. It might be the same size. Either way, it fits inside. Either way, it fits inside of a PlayStation 4 right now. Just a little bit taller.
Wait, a PS4 Slim or a PS4 Pro?
Slim.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty impressive. Yeah. That's great.
So it's a little.
That's great.
Just a tad bigger. Not too much, and it really is like, dang guys. But the whole thing was that this thing only cost, what was it, $299? Is that what we're hitting? We're hitting $299 for next gen upgrade, and it does 144p. Did I get that right? 1440. Yeah, 1440p. It has the variable refresh rate. It has all the bells and whistles, quote unquote. Minus, I think the RAM is different. There's something where it's slightly actually different that I've seen online.
I think from what I've seen, it has the same CPU as the Series X, but doesn't have the same GPU and RAM. That's it. And
that's it. Yeah. But essentially, like if you're looking to get into, and we were talking about this with the NVIDIA cards too. Like if you're looking to get into new next gen. And this I actually don't know because the fact that it's got a little less power. I don't know how much less power per se, because that can only be determined by when we see the games running on all of them and see the frame rates and stuff. And I think it depends on if the developers actually, if that becomes the base, and that's the scary thing. Well, is that a scary thing? Like if that thing sells a lot, if that becomes a Wii basically, but with the current next gen graphics, that's the development standard, right? Because everyone's got that.
Sure. I don't know. Like maybe it'll turn out to be like a PS4 and a PS4 Pro kind of situation where if you have the Pro, it just like you'll be able to run it at 4K. But other than that, it should be the same experience.
Right.
Or if you have it if you're running on a PS4 Pro, like if you're playing Monster Hunter, for example, you can choose to what is it?
Does
Unlock your frame rate,
frame
and it
rate
goes more than 30. Yeah,
or graphics. Focus on one or the other.
one or the other, and then maybe that's something that's only afforded to you if you choose to get the Series X. But if you don't have the Series X, you're kind of locked into whatever the developer says is best for you, right?
Okay, yeah, I could see that. I could see that. And I guess to go over some other details, this thing can be subsidized. I didn't read about the subsidization
It's
options,
$25 per month, I think.
which is, hey, they've done this in the past with a couple cell phone. I think it's either cell phone carriers in the U.S. or Comcast. This isn't new for Xbox, but it is a really really good option considering that you can get this thing $25 and throw in Game Pass, and I think Game Pass is around $12 or something.
Yeah, I think so.
Get freaking Game Pass, subsidize this mug, and you have.
And then you just have
you've got
next gen.
You've got next gen for like 30 something, like $30, like $40 a month. We'll say $40 a month. That is insane.
It's pretty good. That's the less than the price of a game per month. So assuming Game Pass consistently gets new releases at least once a month, then it pays for itself.
It pays for itself. I mean, what did you think of the overall announcement? Because I know you were sending a message to me at work like, "Hey man, you gotta check this out. Yo, check this. And I was like,
no, it's pretty good. Yeah, no, it's exciting. And I think the question is whether or not like the performance. I think is the question, and I don't know. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Microsoft had some kind of rule for developers that, in terms of texture fidelity and texture quality, it had to be parity on the S and the X. So you weren't allowed to like have worse textures on the S, for example. So if you were to take a screenshot, let's say, on the X, and you took a screenshot on the S and you blew it up,
right?
Well, not blew it up, rather, but if you just like cropped in on a part of it, it should look identical. I wouldn't be surprised if they had some kind of guideline that was stipulating developers to do that.
Yeah,
but if it was the case, if they did have some kind of rule where they weren't allowed to downgrade textures for the S, and both consoles are targeting 120 frames per second, then in theory, the only difference between the two consoles should be resolution.
Okay. Yeah, and it's I don't know, like I think it's a great little box. For some reason, it reminds me of a Wii.
Sure.
Well, in the sense that aesthetically, it's just this white little slim box. It's not as slim as the Wii, but it kind of reminds me of that, but more with this, as everyone's calling it, a speaker. Looks like a subwoofer or something.
Actually, what is that? Is that like the vent or what is that?
Well, I still don't know. I think it's not
a speaker, right?
It's not a speaker.
It's not a speaker.
Yeah, it's not a speaker. I'm pretty sure that has to be the vent, man. That has to be a vent because
it's got to be like that's got to be intake or outtake or something, right?
It's one of the two. And so in terms of like when we went from the GameCube to the Wii, the Wii was literally like it's me and my friends called it the two GameCubes duct taped together. And this is replacing the Xbox One series. Wait, gosh, I hate this naming. What's the Pro version of the Xbox One?
The One X.
The One X. And I think this is replacing that edition, right? As the next Pro upgrade for that, that tier, right? That's the low tier. And essentially you're going to be able to get in next gen gaming I don't think anyone's going to notice that they're missing any of those textures. I mean, half the people we get don't have 4K TVs. I don't have a 4K TV or a 4K monitor that can do all the things that you really wanted to do with these next gen consoles. You know what I mean? So
I would honestly argue it's single digits of people that can do, at least on the TV, not a monitor, people that can do 4K over 60 hertz. It's just exceedingly rare.
Yeah. And then that's that's one of the big things for these, the PS5 and they even do, I think they both do 8K, right? Like do you need 8K?
Well, no, yeah, absolutely they can. Yeah, they can, because if you can do 4K 120, then you can do 8K 60. That's just the rule.
Yeah,
that's the rule.
Oh yeah, but who got that 8K set? Well, actually 8K set someone might have. There might be a small percentage.
They sell them. They've been selling them for a year.
They do sell them.
They've been selling them. So people have them.
They look nice.
I don't. I don't.
If we had an 8K set up in Japan, like literally my wall would be half covered by that thing.
By a TV, but it's gaming joy. The problem with 8K is that If you have an 8K TV, then probably, at least in Japan, you're probably watching, God forbid, NHK or something, because that's really all the 8K content that you can even get.
Yeah, that's true.
The problem with 8K from a console or a computer point of view is that you need. Oh, what even supports 8K? I think it's like HDMI 2.1, which is pretty rare. So I think 8K would be HDMI 2.0 at 30 frames per second, which is kind of low.
Okay.
But it's technically 8K. Or I think I saw a video on the internet of like some super jank setup where one 8K monitor needed like two HDMI inputs just to power it, because it was so much bandwidth. Yeah, it was so much bandwidth. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, that's.
But the point is that, yeah, at least in our year of the Lord 2020, it's pretty difficult to get 8K content. You know, I'm assuming they put this in to future-proof the console. They're expecting this cycle to run for at least 5-6 years, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, because when you look at it overall, the first thing we're going to get are nature documentaries, animal programs.
And then after that, pornography, because that's the rule. Yeah.
Well, you got to get we already went to nature. I guess that's next then. I mean, like that's what you're going to be getting, and no one's really caring about that. So, I mean, maybe 3, 4, 5 years down the line, I think we can actually see, 4K becoming a standard and 8K being the slightly upper class, but still like super more affordable now.
I would love to see more 4K displays. A lot of PC gamers, I think there's a Steam survey, because Steam does these surveys every now and then just to see what hardware people are running.
Right.
The overwhelming majority of PC gamers are still using 1080p displays.
I'm one of them.
So no, I am too. Yeah, absolutely, I am too.
But you get like you said, you can get a higher refresh rate on them really easily for a good price.
Oh, and, yeah, $200, like really cheap, really affordable.
And that's great. You don't have to worry about too much there. I'm looking up some more information on the Xbox Series XS. Oh, gosh, I'm gonna get so messed up with all these wonderful titles here, but it's 60% smaller than the Series X. Doesn't have a disk drive, so
it should be like quieter. I'm assuming.
It should be super quiet, right? It should be super quiet.
Unless that thing is like just the world's like a huge ass fan, and it's just like
that. Oh, the speaker's actually a big fan.
Yeah. I mean, maybe.
What else is happening? So I was wrong about Game Pass. Game Pass starts at $10 a month if you don't finance, and then
it used to be on PC. It was $5, and now it's going up to $10 next month.
And and you'll also be able to. We talked about the finance. You can do it over 2 years, which Alex was saying was like $25. You can also finance the Xbox Series X as well. Just 34
it's like 35,
bucks.
right?
Yeah, for 35 bucks.
Oh, yeah,
so,
okay. Yeah.
So Game Pass is that still that kind of deal breaker. That is what they're really pivoting over. And also right after that announcement of the S was EA Play games, and EA Play itself is included in Game Pass. So that's another $10 subscription that you don't have to worry about. I mean, like I wrote on their Twitter, I was like, hey, when's Uplay coming over here? Like, because you have to imagine.
Does Uplay have a subscription service?
I don't think they do. They probably.
Oh man, but even if they did, like, what would be on there? Like Rainbow Six Siege and Assassin's Creed, Division, and Watch Dogs. Yeah,
Raymond, Watch Dogs. Like they would have a few games, but still, it's part of the portfolio. Like when you can put one more publisher on there, then hey, whatever. Like hey, we got Ubisoft, we got EA. All they need then is like Take-Two, and did I get Take-Two?
I think EA Play, I don't know, like...
I mean, it's not the most compelling... I mean...
It's mostly sports games and just a good backlog of everything else. Like Titanfall's on there.
Yeah, but like sports,
but once you've once you've played Titanfall and once you've played all the Battlefields, then like...
Hey, bro, you forgot about them FIFA. You forgot about the FIFAs.
Sure, no, and that's fine. Like a lot of people actually do, like a large majority of people around the world actually do play FIFA.
Yeah, FIFA,
so that's like
huge.
Yeah, no, it's a compelling service because like they're extracting. Well, it sounds terrible to say like that, but they're like extracting money from those people. Like, and it's a good deal. It's a good deal for players. Like, oh, I'm going to buy FIFA every year anyways, I might as
Might
well
as well
pay
just pay
monthly and get
and keep it.
FIFA, and maybe I'll play Battlefield sometimes. So
Oh yeah, that's right. There's Battlefield. There's Need for Speed. I mean, there's a lot of different little games on there that hit a little niche, but overall, it's like Netflix, right? When you get your candy, you're gonna get your premium lollipop, and then you're gonna get your I don't know, you're gonna get some like little chewing gum, the zebra chewing gum. I don't know. There's a range, so they're filling in that range, and Game Pass is that's what I think they're going around this console generation, and
yeah,
honestly.
no, I want to see where Game Pass goes in the next 2 years, because I think the Xbox Series X not having a disc drive is very much a step towards gaming the industry as a service, to lock consumers in to a subscription service, right?
Yeah, I mean, just straight up, this is one of the Netflix possibilities for games,
Well, I mean, sure,
which they
yeah,
try to do in different ways. Previously, it's
yeah,
just been
yeah.
streaming.
And I honestly, like, this is honestly, like, I think this is the start of a new age in gaming, should this experiment go well. Because if Game Pass takes off, a lot of publishers are like, next year, let's say 2021 and 2022, starting in 2022 especially, if like the biggest AAA games that you're going to be excited for, like what the Call of Duty, whatever, Assassin's Creed, whatever, all those big games are day and date Game Pass, and
Which,
it makes which I think maybe. And it gives people a compelling reason to just be on Game Pass, because it saves them money. If Game Pass is $10 a month and those games are 60 to 70, like, just to
oh
buy
yeah,
in.
oh yeah.
Right?
I mean, we've already seen that with OG Netflix. People just leaving subscriptions on and barely even using it, but just keeping it running and every once in a while using it. But like you brought up Call of Duty and like other major franchises, and
Yeah.
I have to wonder how much did Microsoft pay EA to put their service on Game Pass, right?
I don't. Oh, to include it,
They
I
have
don't
they
know,
have
but
to
I
be
feel
giving them
I've
money, because no
like
way they're going to be like, hey, we're going to give up a $10 subscription from a person to then have your, maybe they get a percentage back on it. I don't know, but
yeah,
they have
I
to
don't
have
know.
paid them up front an X amount of money.
I
So
don't know. EA Play is on Steam as well, and that's 5 CAD.
yeah,
So
but you're paying separate for it, right?
yeah,
You're
you are
still
paying
you're,
separate
you're
for
still
it.
subscribing to EA Play. If this is the case with Game Pass, why even bother with subscribing to EA Play? You see what I mean? Like, why even go that route? Just
If
get
you're
Game
just gonna,
Pass.
if you have an Xbox, like, just Game Pass is
And if you have a PC,
really
it's on
really the
PC
way to
too.
go.
Just get Game Pass.
It is, yeah, yeah.
That's the argument. But so in some ways, it'll be interesting to see. It's really going to be interesting to see how this kind of plays out in the future. And
I want to see how Sony competes. I want to see if Game Pass takes off.
see, yeah.
I want to see how Sony
See,
competes.
here's the thing with Sony. If Sony's doing what I think they're doing, right? And I saw someone, or maybe I heard this somewhere else about Sony being the high end and Microsoft being kind of like the not low end, but the everyday kind of thing. Like, let's just say like if Sony is just keeping their exclusives, right? If they keep doing the
Hmm.
same thing they do with exclusives, and Sony becomes this kind of premium content provider. If we think of them as HBO, right? We think of them as HBO.
Sure.
That's
Yeah.
like a premium cable provider. We get our Game of Thrones and Westworlds and all these things that like when it hits on a huge scale, right? That's what they're aiming for. But maybe they don't have the Netflix approach, right? Where they have a
Hmm.
bunch of content that it sells all right, it sells fine. People are happy with that in between. But when they really get that, oh man, did you play this game? Like, did you play this? Did you see this? That's what I think if Sony hits it right, maybe, and that's what they've been doing for the PlayStation 4 this entire generation, and even some with the PS3 towards the end. That's always been their strength. I don't know if they're going to continue to pivot on that as much as possible, or if they're going to try to put stuff on PC. They have their PlayStation Now service, but they really have to.
It's not really good. Yeah.
The streaming is fine, but it's not the same. Like it's not the same content you're getting. Same with PlayStation Plus. You know what I mean?
No,
It's
no,
not.
yeah, and
Yeah.
like PS Now, like, they're not getting AAA games day and date, whereas Game Pass, I think, is they will be getting AAA games day and date,
Right.
and then PS Now is majority like a backlog of good games that you want to play,
Right.
like MGS4 or something like that, right?
I hope it's on there. I hope.
I think it is on there. I'm not sure, but yeah,
It is that, and there's no, they. I think what Microsoft has done is they've gotten rid of. I think it's Live Gold is no more. It's also included in Game Pass, if I
Yeah,
remember.
that was smart. That was a smart move
So
from them. Yeah,
your multiplayer, everything you need is in one
it's Game Pass. Yeah,
is in Game Pass, and that's
a
hot.
hell of a smart move.
That's
a
super
smart move.
Sony,
Yeah.
put everything on PlayStation
Yeah,
Plus.
yeah.
Just
I think
PS,
Sony
give
needs
us
to do
PS
that
now.
too. Yeah.
Give us all these things, and I guess we can transition into their event on 2 days from now, which it'll happen after this podcast goes up. But I mean, what are you expecting to see? What do you want to see? Because what they've said they're going to
pricing, and release. That's it.
are they? You think they have to, right?
They have to. They have to.
They have to, right? I mean, Microsoft's
no
already
way.
said, "Hey
There's
guys,
no,
here it is.
no way.
Here it is."
There's no way.
They're like, "Here it is, guys. It's already here."
Yeah. There's no way they're not gonna share price when Microsoft's already like revealed. What is Sony gonna do? Be like, oh yeah, you can buy it in a couple months, but you're gonna have to wait a little more for pricing. Like it just doesn't make sense.
If they do that, then I'm actually worried that they don't have a price. That they're
or it's just like actually really high, and they're like trying to figure out how to make it a good deal. I was talking to my other friend about PS5 with the Series X being $300 and coming with Game Pass, which is a compelling, compelling proposition for someone who's looking for a new console. If the PS5, the cheapest one, like the digital one, is $450, like it's not nearly as cheap as $300. They probably need to have some kind of really good incentive to pick it up, like it comes with a year of PS Now bundled in, and let's say PlayStation Plus. Both combined for $450, and maybe like a couple download games. Yeah,
maybe you get a year of Plus or something like that, so you're already on the multiplayer.
So it counts, right? So a PS like a year of Plus is like what, $60 or something?
I think it's 60. It's 40 on a good day.
If they bundle, it's like the PS5 is $450, but it comes with Plus and maybe a year of Now and some other bonus. I don't know. So it's $300, but with $150 worth of some other extra stuff, then maybe they can. That's what they might have to do.
That Spider-Man proposition, the PSP with Spider-Man.
How it came with Spider-Man? Yeah.
You know, I watched that movie like 2 times just because I'm like, oh, I got a PSP now and I got this Spider-Man too. Oh snap!
That's what they would need to do. Yeah, so it like comes with like Into the Spider-Verse too, and
that would be kind of cool, you know.
And a year of some other stuff. So
yeah, and I mean, I think they really do need to bring it. I think they just need to lay everything out for us, because there's so much we don't know about the console, and so much more that we want to know. You know, they've already hinted that there's another button that's similar to the share button, but is an improved...
Oh yeah, but they said it wasn't the share button.
Yeah, but it's like an improved version. So like, I don't know what that's going to be.
What is that? Yeah, like
Share 2.0.
What could it even be? Like it already shared. Like it took a screenshot, recorded video, started streaming. What else could it do now?
Can it do, right? So, you know, there's that. I know they've been hinging everything on the audio and just the GPU and the SSD and everything, but and they've said so far that what they are going to show for sure they're going to show some more. I think there's third-party titles, and there's definitely some more first-party worldwide studios titles coming. So that's pretty cool, especially if some of those will be included in release. I still believe that we're going to get, it's kind of crazy if we get Spider-Man, Miles Morales, and Ratchet and Clank as 2 launch games from Insomniac. If that happens, that's just that's
pretty crazy, but I can see it happening. I can see it happening.
I think Spider-Man would be a huge headliner, as we talked about. Like,
maybe Spider-Man will be Christmas, and then Ratchet and Clank will be a launch. That makes more sense to me.
That does make good sense. That makes good sense. And yeah, the launch date, we want to know that Xbox Series X and Xbox Series S are coming out on November 10th. Did I get that right? Yeah.
10th, and then rumored PS5 will be the 20th.
So it's going to be a fight. Black Friday, which we don't even know how Black Friday is working. I think we were talking about this off podcast, but Black Friday this year, I don't know. You can't line up, which people were kind of.
Well, you can. You shouldn't, but you can.
You can. Get your mask. Maybe they'll just do online systems. I don't.
I know. I guarantee you, there's going to be places that are just like,
if I see someone
make sure you stand, 6 feet apart, and the people are like, I want my deal, and then there's going to be
there's going to if people
change.
Stood 6 feet apart in a Black Friday line, it would just wrap around the entire mall. Like it would be stupid. It would honestly be stupid.
Yeah,
it'd be awesome and safe, but it'd be crazy.
You probably shouldn't line up, but I mean, people probably At least some people will. So.
Diehards will. Diehards will.
Like in Japan, people lined up for Kimetsu no Yaiba, like the last volume. Yeah,
In the midst of COVID, and I was like, I've seen the.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness! Like,
or Demon Slayer, as it's called in English.
yeah, the phenomena, Demon Slayer. So yeah, honestly, here's what I think, right, about Xbox Series S and versus the Series X. Now we know one is more powerful and one isn't, but from a consumer standpoint, from I guess like if I didn't have any knowledge, part of me would be really happy to see this lower costing console, and then the other part of me would be like, what am I not getting? That's like a thought in my head. What am I not getting? And
Yeah, I think it's how they market it, because it's the same. It's just like it depends on the average consumer. If they just say like, "Oh, it plays all the exact same games as the Series X," and then people are like, "That's good enough for me," or you know what I mean? Like,
okay, there we go. So 1440p up to 120 FPS, DirectX ray tracing, variable refresh shading, variable refresh rate, all digital.
yeah, it sounds chill.
4K medium. So the media playback is 4K. The 4K
And then it downscales.
and then
Yeah,
4K
okay.
upscaling for games. Custom SSD of 512 with ultra low latency. That's it.
Right. Because, yeah, like I said, like, I don't have a 4K monitor that goes over 60 hertz. So there's no reason for me to get a console that's like, oh, 4K to 120 when I can't even display that.
I'm just saying, man. If they just, I would have. You know what? They saw the Wii. They saw the Wii sell like gangbusters. I think this could have been that. I think this could have been that, and they could have just lowballed Sony.
If they didn't
Lowballed
have the
them.
X, if there was no
If,
X, it
yeah,
was just
if there
the
was
S.
no X, just the S, and we never knew the price. We didn't know the price of it, right? And then up until now, we find out, okay, 1440p, you know.
No, I
it's
agree.
Okay.
I
And then you
agree.
hit this
Yeah,
and
I
Game Pass,
agree.
and you just say, what am I not getting that I'm not getting on a PlayStation 5? Game Pass. Done. End it. Walk out the door.
If there was no X and they only had the S and it was $300, that's the only console they even announced. I
Gangbusters.
agree. I feel like that would be terrible news for Sony.
Gangbusters.
Yeah,
You'd be
that
like,
would be bad news for Sony. What is Sony supposed to do? How are they gonna like? They have to pimp the shit out of their marketing. They have to be like,
guys get Spider-Man.
oh, we can do 4K.
Right?
Yeah,
4K
basically, like
Spider-Man.
they have to be like, oh, you know, Xbox is only 1440p. It's that's peasant quality. Like we're 4K gaming.
It puts PlayStation in the league of a PC at that point. And then people are like, well, if I want a PlayStation, I might as well just build a PC. I mean, like, I think it would have been insane if that was the case. But, you know, we live in a world where there is an X. So
Yeah, it's a I mean, I think the S is such an interesting console for it to be priced. So just to keep in mind, by the way, a Nintendo Switch is $300.
yeah.
Like that's the price bracket that it's in.
And it's technically smaller, and portable. But yes. Yo, Game Pass for Switch. Game done.
That's
You see
so
what I mean?
when I think
You see what I
when I
mean?
think about it, that it's in the same price bracket as a Switch.
It's crazy, right?
So what if like you're a brand new console gamer, you have nothing, you're starting from ground zero, and you're like, I could get the Nintendo
that
Switch.
just depends
or
on
I
what
could
type of
get-
gamer you are, right? That's
Yeah, I
straight up
guess,
gamer.
yeah.
If you're not into any Nintendo games that much, then obviously just go with the S.
Yeah.
But
Oh
still,
man.
for
With-
parents, they'll just be like, I got him an S.
Yeah, or you know, hopefully it's the S, and you'll get the like the Xbox One S, like which is actually a thing. So
But hey, it makes that
help
argument
them.
of secondary consoles. I always used to have a secondary console, you know, PlayStation, then I would have my Nintendo console. But with this, like straight up, like, hey, I got this and I got a Switch. Like I can see that being the combo.
yeah, most people only have two consoles usually.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I only have two consoles as well because, well, I'm not gonna get an Xbox in Japan, right?
I mean, with this one, you can. You could. There's no disk drive on it, which you might not like that part, but
It's so small, I could put that on my desk and
could.
it wouldn't even make it cluttered.
you
Yeah,
could.
it's just
It's good enough to fit on my desk too. I'm like, sizes. But so yeah,
like, keep in mind the PS5 non-digital version is like a chunky boy, right? That thing is huge.
they're both huge, right? Like that's what we want. We want to actually see the hardware. I think we want to see the hardware, and we want to see the pricing and the date that it's coming out. I think if they do that, gamers will be fine. They'll be happy, and it's. I think that's all Sony has to do. They'll show some of their third party games, whatever. If Lord knows if Naughty Dog had a second studio working on some crap. I don't know, Santa
Yeah, I
Monica,
don't.
or I mean, we haven't seen whatever Santa Monica's working on. And we already know that's God of War. But if they're working on something else, that's before God of War, or some of the other studios that we didn't see anything from, like Sony's still got bombs left to drop in terms of games, but I don't think gamers want that right now. They just want
Yeah, well, at least just the pricing. I think the key to, well, not the key, but what I want to see in the next couple of years is how actually games are going to run on the Xbox long term. Because they say, and it's even in the video, up to 120 frames, right?
right. It's capped.
That's not guaranteed. That's not guaranteed 120. That's up to 120 frames, right? So there's no reason that in a year from now we're going to be seeing, like, let's say Gears of War. What are we up to? 7? I don't know. Like, it could just be like 1440p 60 frames and that's
Could
it,
be.
right?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, everyone would be happy with just 60 frames, because even then, like you said, not everyone can actually take advantage of even 120 frames, right?
Yeah, you have to have a
You have to
monitor.
have
Yeah,
you have to have a monitor or a TV, which I think a lot of these budget TVs, even in the US, now are pretty much standard with 120. I want to say, for a pretty
like
good price.
120 hertz, like not 100. Is it not interpolated, right? It's not the fake 120.
That I couldn't tell you. That I couldn't tell
Okay.
you. But I can tell you can walk into Walmart and get a 50-inch TV for about $400. That's 1080p and maybe 4K as well. If not,
Yeah,
does
I would
1080p
believe it's
120.
4K for that price. That's pretty cheap. Yeah.
So it's well, we're walking into some good times in gaming, everyone. We wanted to keep it a little bit short this week just because, well, last week we went all over the place and happy awesomeness talks and stuff. I'm saying awesome a lot these days. Alex, do you have anything you want to close out with? Any announcements you want to make or anything?
Announcements?
I don't know, or any news you want to talk about? Anything you want to talk about for just like, or just bring up or something?
No. I mean, there's nothing cool on my Twitter feed right now. Just no, man.
There we go.
Have you played Arknights?
Mobile game, right? No.
Yeah,
No.
that soundtrack is banging.
Wait,
like
really?
it's really
Wait,
good.
who's doing the?
Yeah,
Who does not sound, but who does the soundtrack for it?
they just have a bunch of like artists, big name artists, doing songs for the game soundtrack, and they're all legit.
Is it on Spotify?
Bangers.
Is it on Spotify?
Yeah, like
Okay.
Steve Aoki is a pretty popular EDM artist. He did a track for Arknights. Riona, you know who she is. She does
Yeah.
the ending themes for a couple of
Sword Art Online?
She
Yeah. I like
has
Riona.
a track.
I like Riona.
She's a track on Arknights. Like
Okay, because like Arknights is like if you don't know this game, it's ARKNIGHTS. Did I get that
Yeah.
right? It's a strategy like not
Tower defense.
tower defense kind of game, where
Yeah.
it takes the same concept of Concord or any of those other games where it's taking guns. So like an M14 or M16. I'm just naming numbers. I don't know if these are actual ones, but it's turning that into a girl, into a
I
character.
don't think that's Arknights. I think you're thinking
Wait.
of
There's another one.
the other one.
Wait, what's
no,
the
Arknights is just like
What?
like there's a
Hold
character
up.
named Hibiscus. Like that's a flower.
Okay, so this one is they turn flowers into.
No, Arknights are just actual characters. Like they have
Wait, so
unique
oh no, I'm
characters.
thinking of Girls Frontline.
Yeah, you're thinking of
I'm-
Guys Online.
There's so many of these. Okay, so what is Arc Knights about? Are they actual knights?
No, they're just characters. They're just characters.
They're just.
They're kind of like animals, actually. Like they're part animals, but they just have normal names.
Okay.
It's tower defense. Yeah, they're really good. I mean, the soundtrack is so banging, man. I've actually never played Arknights, but I'm on YouTube and I'm like
Looking
watching
up
these
videos,
music videos. Yeah,
Oh, just for the music. Oh, man.
they're so good. Yeah.
Oh man, I guess I can. If once I get a new phone, I guess I can go check it out. Like it's not a. It's
Yeah,
not a
you
bad
don't,
little
you don't
thing.
even need to like play the game. Just like
Oh,
check out the soundtrack. Yeah.
Just check out that Spotify, the soundtrack. So you heard Alex.
Well, when I saw that Riona had like a song on Arknights, I was like, "How's that? That can't be right."
I wouldn't
Really?
mind. I
And
wouldn't
was-
mind seeing her in concert. She's got some nice. I like her. I like her endings for Sword Art Online.
Yeah.
I think is it endings or does she have an opening or are they just both endings?
She
Forgot.
has.
Did she do one this season?
I think she did an opening for this season, but she did the ending for last season.
Yeah. I like that one. I almost bought it.
So it was called Forget Me Not. That was the ending for last season, and then this season's opening is called Anima.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, sorry. It's that. I just remember that song. That's a good song. That's a good song.
Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah.
she's on the Ark Knight
Yeah.
soundtrack. So
Yeah. So yeah, she heard it. Alex says go play some Ark Knights, or no, well, go listen to the soundtrack. Give it a listen to. It's on Spotify, which means it's free,
well,
or means you
all
gotta
the
pay.
singles are on Spotify. They're not like there's no album
Oh, you
so
have to
far.
like
Find out
you have to
who
find
has
out
done
who
a
has
song for
done a
Ark
song.
Knight. Yeah.
I guess YouTube is your better choice then.
Yeah.
Someone's like put them together. I'm sure into a playlist. Uh,
Yeah.
and after that, I guess remember, yeah. Thanks for listening as always. And big news, I finally made the Twitch affiliate jump, so I'm moving on up in the world slightly and surely.
New record!
You were just waiting for
That's all
that.
I
You
had.
were waiting for that.
Wait,
the
no, I
entire
got a
show.
better one. I got a better one.
Yeah, that was good. That felt good. That felt good.
Yeah.
But
Make your dreams come true.
I'm gonna cry. It's like one of those idol girls. They just cry when people like nominate them and stuff. But nah, it's a small step towards hopefully something bigger. But I definitely gotta say thanks to Alex for his support as well, and then all you who've been to the stream. Can't say thanks enough, and for being in the stream and then also listening as well. I just feel responsible. You're like my children. I must take care of you and provide you with entertainment.
You should do a live podcast.
We should, yeah, we should do a live. We should do that. We should do a live podcast. Make some incentives for, for subbing or something. I don't know. Maybe get a shout out on the podcast.
Yeah. Once you have enough subs, you can do a sub only stream.
Oh, that sounds fancy.
Yeah.
That sounds fancy. So yeah, once again, you can follow me at on Twitch at twitch.tv/NinjaTrix NinjaTrix, like the cereal.
Wait, NinjaTrixta cereal.
Yeah, there should just be a video of me just eating cereal in a ninja outfit. That could work.
That's your trailer right there.
I gotta find a ninja suit. I gotta find a ninja suit then.
Yeah.
There we go. So, anyways, once again, thanks everyone. We'll be back for episode number 51 of the Unknown Games podcast next week. Same time, same place. Maybe. Probably. Definitely. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, go put something good out into the world. Have some fun. Go play some games. And remember, you set the tone. And that was backwards. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye!
Bye-bye.